Oops.
Don't say nervous about Princess. It's all good.
Live just popped up for me.
It did.
Boom. Here.
Just not for Brian.
I got it. Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 93 with Richard McClure and Jordan Carpenter of F3. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our private Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. The Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is censored because I have children and I like to listen to podcasts in the car with my children in the car, so I do my best to bleep out any of the curse words that my lovely wife and fabulous co-hosts like to use because they're potty-mouthed and unkept some of the times. However, our guests today are classy people. We don't have to worry about anything like that. If Brian tries to steer it to something adult-oriented, then we'll get off that and try to keep it clean.
The group.
Oh, okay.
I want to introduce some people. I want to introduce the hottest woman in the world, the smartest woman in the world, who was here late, but that's okay because she was busy taking care of people, saving lives, taking care of another gym member who busted their leg open and had to get her stitches. And thank God I wasn't there for any of that.
We were talking about that.
But
Gary was having a hard time watching as well.
Yeah.
He was covering his eyes.
Me or Gary or myself in any emergency situation should just get to the closest restaurant and wait in the booth until y'all get done with whatever you and Stacy are doing. But it is my wife, the most amazing woman in the world, Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, also known as Jack Nantan.
Hello.
How are you, pretty lady?
It's been a long day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Started at what, 3 a.m.?
3:15. Yep, got ready for work / coaching. Coached 5 and 6 a.m., went to work, and now I'm here.
Didn't kiss me goodbye?
Yes, I did.
I must have been asleep.
At the gym?
When you left the house.
Yeah, you were asleep. You were gone.
Well, but you should have woken me up.
To kiss you bye.
Yes.
Noted.
It's important that you do that. And then you had a wonderful class. You did great coaching this morning. That's always fun when you're coaching. I like that.
It was exciting for me. That was the first time I got to be in one of her classes that she
Is it
coached.
really?
Yep. It's the first time he's been my student.
Wow. Yeah, it was good. It's nice when she coaches because I know I'm going to go.
Right.
My attendance is really good when she coaches.
My feelings are not hurt that you don't regularly attend my classes and feel like I'm not
pretty good, though. My attendance at 5 a.m. has been pretty good.
You've been pretty solid.
But I can only do 3 days in a row. That fourth day, I'm just about to snap in two.
That's what CrossFit says. 3 days on, 1 day off. 3 days on.
Is that what they say?
Yep.
Well, that's what my body says, too. My body really says 2 days on and like 4 days off. But we'll keep going and do what we do.
I'm coming off of like 6 months off, so.
And to Amanda's right, we have Jordan Carpenter of F3.
That's right.
Now, is it F3?
We're F3 Memphis.
F3 Memphis.
F3 is a national organization, and it's loosely organized into regions, and we got started last August.
Is it F3 Fitness? Is that what it would be called? Or is it just F3?
F3nation.com is the national website. So we kind of refer to it as the Nation or
Okay.
F3 Nation. And then we're F3 Memphis.
All right. And then to his right is Richard McClure.
Hello, hello.
And what is your role in F3?
Well, I'm the Bradshaw.
You're the boss.
I'm the best backup quarterback there is.
Like,
And now, are you behind him?
Yeah.
So I'm called the Nantan, which is the Apache word for chief. And
Okay.
F3 is not a hierarchical organization. We're called a starfish organization. So it's very flat. We're not looking for any type of boss mentality. But I have responsibility for the overall success of the group. And so I coordinate and oversee, basically keep us between the guardrails. Because we have 5 rules. And when you only have 5 rules, you can do a lot of stuff.
Move that bend that microphone more in front of your mouth because not catching very well. That'll work. I think that's good.
All right.
Yeah, much
So
better.
Richard was experienced with F3, had experience with F3. And so when we got going last year, I definitely needed his expertise. I was the point man in getting us launched, but there's a secondary role. He's not here with us tonight. Soybean is our weasel shaker, and that's the guy who makes sure that the ideas and the vision is captured and executed. And I think the official definition is the weasel shaker is the guy whose passion is Excel spreadsheets. So he does that, and then Richard is more like
I'm more like a sage.
Okay.
yeah.
Like Yoda.
Yeah.
So
right.
it provides necessary wisdom and leadership in a way that I can't, Soybean can't, and the 3 of us kind of make sure that we're going forward.
All right. Well, we got a weasel shaker. Speaking of, and he's sitting behind the camera.
Keep it clean.
It's our it's the best looking cameraman in the business, Mr. Brian Swanson.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am Ducky.
I enjoy your hat. You wore that the other day, and when I walked into the gym, I thought that you were wearing a do-rag.
Oh,
I
nice.
thought that it
Wow.
was a red do-rag, and I thought, wow, Brian has really
Up
took
my
it to the
game.
streets. I mean, he's gone
Well,
straight up.
I was
blood.
just disappointed I didn't walk into the gym with it on, knowing at 5 a.m. that I have so many Mississippi State fans. I should have been wearing my Notre Dame stuff loud and proud.
You put it on soon enough.
Yeah.
Soon
Some would
enough
say
to be
too
ugly.
soon.
Especially Sam. You may want to apologize to.
Well,
to our boy
Gary's
Sam
the only one
Renfro.
that.
Oh man, Gary Weaver popped off right
yeah,
when he
he's-
walked in
as soon
yesterday.
as
Was he mad?
Oh, as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Take that crap off."
Yeah, well, I don't really keep up. I mean, my mailman, he kind of makes me keep up because every day he delivers the mail and he's like, hey, how about them? How about so-and-so sport? And I'm like, I don't really keep up. And he just keeps on going.
It's hard, though. I mean,
right
there's
into
so much
everything.
going on, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Basketball, I'm just kind of iffy on anyway.
And this is ladies basketball.
Yeah, and it's
Not
you-
that there's anything wrong with
yeah, but you're
ladies
just
doing
it's hard to
basketball.
catch up with. They don't get the best TV spots. It's hard.
Yeah. But I guess I should know. I mean, they did just go to the national championship,
True.
but they lost in the national championship.
That's okay.
I went to a state championship.
Oh my
As
goodness.
part
and I
of
lost.
Germantown High School.
We should probably talk about that
Should we?
because I've already bonded with Richard and Jordan because they brought up my football picture, which was nice of them.
I'm surprised you don't have like a full size, life size.
Like-
What's the big stick?
Fathead.
Fathead.
Fathead, yeah.
on this wall so that everybody can ask you about it.
I'm
that shows
surprised
up.
y'all haven't gotten me one or a hologram.
Thank you, Brian, for that idea.
Just
Appreciate
a
it.
constantly running video, a fathead of myself that constantly runs highlight reels
Exactly.
behind me.
So at his dad's house, he has a big life-size stand-up cardboard figure of Elvis. So now I expect that I'll see one of those soon.
My dad's a big Elvis fan.
So we'll have Wilson bust into the in the house.
The
Just to
ideas
make
are
sure you
good,
got the
but
baby
without
tee on.
action, it's really nothing.
Okay.
Y'all need to implement
There's
some action.
birthdays and anniversaries and Christmases and other stuff coming up.
Yeah, well, all of them need to be revolving around Germantown football and number 72.
I actually think, I was I got to the gym early enough to watch you do the 5A or do the Metcon today, and you were slowing down a little bit, and I was like, come on, Red, you got this, and I think you actually perked up a little bit.
2 reps. It got me through 2 burpees. Then I was back out of gas again. Yeah, today was a rough one.
It was rough.
It took a little while.
It was, that was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work. It didn't really I guess on the board look like it, but people
Those
were
are the scary
suffering.
ones.
Yeah, Carly, only 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Speaking of gifts, Amanda got me a Easter basket for Easter. Not obviously for Easter.
Thanks for clarifying, though.
It was great. It was great. So for Easter, I ate one of those huge Reese's peanut butter eggs.
Oh.
It's like a pound, something like that.
I was gifted one as well, but I left it at their house, and so I still
Intentionally?
have no. I just forgot it, and so I have to go get it still, and so my gratification of the Reese's Easter egg is delayed.
Well, and then after I ate that, the next night I had a Reese's peanut butter bunny because she got me a bunny too. And she also got me a cookies and cream bunny, which I had to eat because I don't want to be rude. So I ate all those this weekend, which could have something to do with why I was sucking so much wind.
There
this
was also
morning.
6 books in that basket, but he has yet to mention the books that were in there for him to
We're
read.
gonna
Easter.
we're gonna
We're
take it
talking
one
about
step at
candy.
a time. Like you can't mix those things. I have to sleep after.
And
I
he's
eat all
he's
that.
trying to rationalize not feeling great this morning,
Yep,
not having pep in his step.
that's right.
Has nothing to do with all the volume of lifting that we've been doing lately or anything.
Yeah, that's been heavy.
Did you find out anything about being called to jury duty?
I have to go.
You do have to go.
Yeah,
No way out.
no way out. I have to report.
You'll
It's your
do
civic duty.
good. It is your
It
civic
is.
duty. I got out of my jury duty.
Who is CeeLo from F3?
And we know him.
He is,
He's watching.
he is the AOQ. Q is our lingo for leader. AO is the area of operations. So for our Collierville AO, he's the AOQ.
Nice.
What's up, CeeLo?
I wonder if CeeLo will go to iTunes and leave us a review, a 5-star review.
We should talk about that.
We're big on 5-star reviews, but it seems as if no one else is. So we can get some, but not many. We got one this week. How
We
about
did.
that? Yes, we did.
Do we know him?
Not to my knowledge. We have to. You want me to read it?
Yes, we
course
do.
we
Do you really want me to
We
read
do.
it?
Yes.
Okay. Amanda, do you want me
Sure.
to read it?
What?
Like really, really badly want me to read it?
Yes,
I need
please
some
read
enthusiasm.
it. I
Thank
need to
you.
hear it.
All right. You want to know how many stars it is?
5.
5 of
5
them.
stars.
You already said that.
Favorite podcast. That's the title of it. And it's by Sillamore Sasquatch. April 3rd, 2018. What better way to end my Wednesdays than by listening to 3, sometimes 4 of my favorite folks talking about life and fitness. Thanks, Amanda, Wilson, and Vaughn for putting out great content on a weekly basis.
They put my name first.
That's what she noticed about that.
Sure did. I don't blame
Well
them.
played, Sasquatch. Well played.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have to know who that is.
Isn't that the proper way to do that?
don't
Amanda,
know.
Wilson, and Vaughn would be in alphabetical order. Is it not? Or am I just taking away from somebody paying you a compliment? Jordan's like,
Vaughn comes before W. Wilson.
Yeah.
oh, yes. Yeah, so that's not right at all.
He's a lawyer.
Is that what you do? You're a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Who do you work for yourself?
No.
Who do you work for?
I work for the world's best flooring company. I'm the in-house attorney for Artisan Floors
Really? Mm-hmm. How long you been doing that?
since last May.
Where did you go to law school?
Vermont Law School.
How did you wind up? You went to school here at ECS.
Right.
What
Yep.
year did you graduate?
2005.
Now, we had from ECS on the podcast Iron Tribe,
John Irvine.
John
Yes.
Irvine. Did you graduate with him?
He was a year behind me.
Really?
No, 2 years maybe.
Did y'all play football together?
I think so. He might have been a freshman when I was a senior, actually. His older brother, Will, was a year behind me. And then
Okay.
I did play football with David Allen from MBS Fitness.
All right.
He was a year ahead of me.
Okay. So in terms of like high school years being like dog years, John Irvine would have been like a nobody as a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, I only went there 3 years, so sometimes
Where did you
it's tough.
Where'd you go before that?
I was in Bartlett schools.
Oh, where did you go? Bartlett High School.
No, I was in the Bolton district.
All right.
But my parents tried a homeschooling year, and it didn't really work.
Yeah.
You know, just didn't work.
So then you went to Vermont, and then came back home.
Well, I went to Alabama for 3 semesters, dropped out, joined the Army, did the Army for 4 years, finished at Alabama, then went to law school in Vermont.
And Richard, where are you from?
I was born in Knoxville. I'm an East
Okay.
Tennessee boy.
Yay. Go Vols.
Grew up in Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah. Moved here 25 years ago.
Now she's from Chattanooga.
Chat.
Did you say something about Chattanooga? Did you have some Chattanooga roots?
My first job, I worked for a law firm in Chattanooga.
Okay.
It was awesome.
So how did y'all cross paths?
Just with F3.
Yeah. Ironically, we live about a mile away. And I had started doing F3 back in Nashville. I was doing some contract consulting work professionally and was driving to Nashville twice a week and saw a buddy tweet about this F3 thing, and I thought he was out of his mind. And one thing led to another. I show up at a workout, got smoked. I'm 47. I was 43 at the time. And I thought I was just going to get crushed with the workout because I'd physically not done anything remotely close to that in my life. And, I didn't die. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I kind of accomplished something that I really didn't think I could do. And I've been one who has struggled with my weight my entire life, even to this day. And so I've always had that battle. And then I kind of found myself accomplishing something fairly significant. And it wasn't the fitness that really hooked me. It was the brotherhood of the guys showing up. And so anyway, fast forwarding.
That was in Nashville.
This was in Nashville. I'm sorry. This was
And this was F3 in Nashville.
F3 Nashville, yeah. And this was 2014. So I ended up coming back here professionally. And it was on my heart, honestly. I want to see F3 in Memphis. I live in Memphis, and it would be such a blessing to so many men. And so I thought it was going to happen like the next year. I thought 2015 would be the year that it would just, it's going to all come together. Well, God's plan was different. And 3 long years elapsed. And there was some chatter going on with F3 Nation about interest in getting Memphis started. And he happened to be one of the people spearheading that. And I caught wind of it on Twitter. And I'm like, hey, I raised my hand. I was like, whatever you do, please involve me. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of how we met, and lo and behold, we show up at our first pre-workout earlier in 2017, and didn't know each other, but we ended up living basically a mile away. Pretty awesome.
So while you're trying to get F3 up and going, are you still hosting workouts?
Yeah, so there's another guy, F3 name Escobar. He was his brother-in-law is really involved in Knoxville, F3 Knoxville, and that's where I had gotten my start with F3. And so his brother-in-law is a guy named Proton out there, and so Proton said that his brother-in-law was really interested here, that he had been doing some workouts that were F3-like, but there's a few like cultish things that we do that he was leaving out, and so
Not a cult.
yeah. Anyway,
If people like it, it's a cult.
so when I moved to Memphis,
if people
and-
like it, naturally other people don't. Therefore,
right.
it's a cult.
So the founders of F3, Dredd and OBT, they say if we are a cult, we're a cool one, like the Blue Oyster Cult. So
That's a pretty good response.
we're not the bad type.
Right.
But when I moved here, he said, "Yeah, I'm hosting a few workouts," and we hooked up and got that going. And then when we met Richard, who goes by O Positive, we just kind of got that going. And so when the launch finally approached in August, the 3 of us basically brought like 15 guys each. And so, we had a huge group, a great group, and that's just how it got going.
Where'd you find your 15 guys?
I grew up here, so I reached out to a lot of guys I knew from high school or church or Facebook. Oh yeah, I actually the neighborhood association Facebook page where we live. Man, I probably got like 10 guys to come out just by posting it there.
Really?
And there were wives that saw it and liked it, and then told their husbands, and then they showed up.
That's how you get them. Go through the wire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so on August 19th of 2017, we launched, and at Shelby Farms, 7 o'clock in the morning, had 42 guys show up.
Whoa.
Yeah. And we just
That's incredible.
We just hit 300, I think, this past week.
300 people.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
How many people show up for one workout?
On average, we've got so many locations, so minimum of 10
Yeah.
is pretty much a conservative number.
So Monday we had a big push. We're doing a competition between the AOs and trying to see who can have the first first workout of the month, so Monday and Tuesday. And then I further challenged the guy because the guys, our high attendance number was 48 on a single day, and so I said if you get to 60, I'll do 200 burpees in the sand, which the 200 burpees is like kind of tough, but for me personally, the sand is no-go. Like, I hate sand so much.
Yeah, I hate both those things.
Yeah, so I said that, and then I said I'll add on 100 for every 10 above 60 that we go. So 86 guys showed up on Monday morning.
86.
So I still owe the guys. I'm sorry, I haven't done it yet. It was just Monday, but it's my 10th.
So you own 400?
400 sand burpees.
in the sand.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I don't know my
luck
alphabet,
with
but I
that.
know my numbers.
Yeah.
Came up 400 pretty quick.
Yeah. That's that Alabama math right there. Not very smart coming out of Alabama.
So everybody in F3 has a nickname.
right.
Can you tell me how they got their nickname? How did Escobar get his nickname?
Escobar is a pharmacist, so he deals drugs.
Man is a pharmacist, but she won't deal me drugs.
This is Gus.
In Knoxville, they like their college football. I said I went to the University of Alabama, and they wanted something Auburn-centric, so they named me Gus after
Gus
Malzahn.
Malzahn?
That's right.
Okay. Now, O positive.
O positive. Ironically, I'm A positive. But when I posting showing up to my first workout, they asked me about myself, and I was throwing up on them about, well, I'm a Tennessee graduate. They could have easily come down with a gator chomp or something obnoxious, but I told them that I was supporting a nonprofit in Nashville called Blood Water Mission, raising clean water, clean AIDS, kind of just addressing those needs on the continent. And so they said, well, O positive.
Yeah, it can be anything. It can be
First kiss.
I mean, if guys aren't giving us any material with either their appearance or their workout style or
What do you do for a living?
whatever, we ask them like,
Most
tell us-
embarrassing story.
Yeah.
But nobody's exempt.
First date.
Nobody's getting out of
Nobody.
there without
we
something.
have a funny one. I'll out this guy. He goes by Hansy, and he had gone on a first date and unfortunately
God.
picked up the prosthetic limb of the girl's sister and thought he was going to play with it and quickly realized what it was and set it down. And he said he didn't get a second date, so he got handsy. I mean, so
Wow.
it's, it can be tangential.
If you're smart, you pay attention to what is happening when others are being named, and you learn what not to say.
Right.
Yeah, you will incriminate yourself fairly quickly. And if you give us, if you don't like the name, we're going to rename you possibly, but to something 100 times worse.
Yeah, way worse.
But you have that option. You can gong out. Of
Well,
He has that option.
you have.
I
that
mean,
option.
you can like moan about it and
But as the what's the term? The Nantan, the
Nantan.
the Nantan. You can say,
Nantan.
"Hey, we're
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost like
no
I think
go."
that's Wilson's nickname.
well,
right?
we had a situation where a guy requested a new name, and we have kind of a little round table of our leaders, and so I put it before him and kind of said the reasoning, and it was pretty crappy reasoning. So we said no, but I said, look, you keep showing up and you keep complaining about it, and I'll probably get tired of you complaining, and might get a new name. So we'll see.
Well, Michael Shelton, who goes by Pops.
Pops, because he looks really old.
Yeah, and just decrepit.
And he's not that old, but he looks really old.
I'm older than he is.
Yeah.
Aw.
old man Bubs.
Aw, Bubs.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're the oldest person at a workout, you're going to get called War Daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're over 50, then after you announce your name, we'll say
I
respect.
say respect. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're over 50, still working out. It's pretty good.
Got a 67-year-old guy who's
right.
coming out.
Really.
Yeah.
I have 100 nicknames for Pops. If he needs
Okay.
another one,
All right.
runs out. I have 1,000.
Okay,
I mean, I
good.
could just start. I probably should. I should probably just start telling stories
All right.
about Shelton until
Michael's
we find
dying
him.
right now.
He's actually, I
Another
mean,
name.
he
Hey,
kills
Pops.
it at the workouts, so
Yes, he does.
I can say he looks old, but he's pretty awesome.
And then you got Matt Pierce out there, and I know I've been told his nickname, and I can't remember what that is. And then there's Matt Pentecost,
Snowman.
Snowman. Why? Why?
I was so mad. So I obviously can't be everywhere, and we have multiple locations. And so when I found out that they named a dude Matt Pentecost Snowman, I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, would have called you like Fire Tongue or something crazy biblical. Like with a name like Pentecost, I would have really seized on that. But I don't know, some 80s movie reference, something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny, but it's impressive that you've rounded up to have Michael Shelton, Matt Pentecost, and Matt Pierce all in the same group, that all three love it and are committed to it and leading workouts. It says a lot about F3, and I say that somewhat jokingly because I know these guys, but then there's the other side of me. It's like that's some legit stuff. I mean, these aren't guys that are just going to, go hang out and work out with a bunch of guys
Right.
for no reason.
And I'll give Pops props, honestly. After his workout, probably about a month ago when he led, he smoked me. I mean, I do this 3-4 days a week. I'm in fairly good shape now, but I was like, dude, that was awesome. I mean, this is 5:30 in the morning, and I'm giving him dabs because I'm like, man, I needed that. And so I love everybody brings what's in their basket, honestly. What is their gifting? And everybody's different, man. I mean, everybody's got their different personalities, their different commanding, presence and things like that. But because it is peer-led, it's a rotating peer-led men's workout group.
So I was going to say that I mentioned we have 5 rules. They're the 5 core principles of F3 is that it's free, it's open to all men regardless of age or ability. It's always held outdoors, rain or shine. It's peer-led on a rotating basis. And then we end with a circle of trust, which is we count off. We do the name-orama, which is you give your hospital name, what you were born with, your age, and then your F3 name. And then the person who leads the workout can say nothing, anything, give a mini sermon, read a bumper sticker, whatever they want to do. And then we get out of there. So, those are the kind of things I said. We have a few cultish practices that we have, but it becomes almost like you couldn't end the workout without it.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
Honestly, because 9 times out of 10, what is being imparted from the Q, the leader that day, is a direct command of encouragement. Now go lead your family today. Go lead your wife. Go lead your children. Go lead your church. Go lead your community. And there's something that is just so enriching about that. It really is, because we have guys who do not lead, and it's obvious that they are not in leadership positions. For me, honestly, where I work professionally, I don't have to lead anybody. I lead me, and that can be a lonely place. Well, I look forward to stepping up as the Q at least once a week. I mean, I'm queuing 2 times this week because I want to. I want to be able to just be fully present, in that leadership opportunity, because when you are responsible for having to create a workout, we start on time, we end on time. 45 minutes flat, period. Seriously, we're going to get after it. We're going to get done with it. You have to have confidence. You have to have the opportunity to encourage. You have to hold people accountable. You have to pick up the 6. You've got to
pick up the 6.
The person in the back. Okay. No man left behind.
You got some gazelles, got some Clydesdales.
Yeah. And then you find it to where you're responsible for so much, and you have to have the ability to just, I don't know, lead. It's just crazy how and these are all 20 plus skill sets that transfer over to the workplace. You're out here leading this group of men, and all this you're responsible for, and then you can go apply that at work. How are you leading your employees today? And I don't know. It's just,
well, there's every week or whatever it seems there's a new article or podcast or a magazine story about how today's men don't have friends. They're killing themselves. They're addicted to something. They're divorced. The divorce rate is crazy. And I guess what we're trying to do is build a community, a supportive community that tells people, look, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to us. You matter to the community out there, to your family. So, you got to get right, and then you got to lead right. So part of that is showing up, working out, getting your body right. But, that's, we like to say the fitness, F3 stands for fitness, fellowship, and faith. So the fitness part is the magnet that draws people in. We say that the fellowship part is the glue, and then the faith part is the dynamite. So we're not any one religion or denomination or whatever. It's what we call faith is a belief of something outside of yourself. And almost like the way AA or the Boy Scouts views like God. Personally, I'm a Christian, and I hope people see that, as I lead and as I interact with them. But, there's no kind of requirement for that. We are in the Bible Belt, so there's a lot of expression of Christianity in the faith aspect. But we've done service projects where we helped clean out a house that was going to be condemned because a hoarder had, lost control, and we helped get that situation right. And, we're always looking for things that we can do to help our communities.
I respect the way that y'all approach the faith part of it, because I realize, as a Christian, there is a responsibility to minister, but there is also that line that you can push somebody away who otherwise would be a participant, if it was too much.
Right.
And there's a fine line there, and y'all seem to do a really good job of allowing people to kind of discover their faith, because that's part of it too. A lot of it is, a lot of people don't just wake up a Christian.
Right.
They need to see other Christians or whatever people believe. They need to see those people believe the way they believe before they're willing to believe anything.
Yeah, I don't think we shy away from the religious aspect. The founders of F3 are practicing Christians and talk about the importance of prayer and study, and I think we all believe those things are important. They might be important if you deconstruct some of the religious beliefs that go along with them, like studying, great ancient wisdom is good for you, even if it's not out of the Bible or whatever. I would say, well, here's the reason that the Bible is better or important or can enlighten you in new ways. But, we put forward those disciplines because we do think they improve people's lives. We do think that, men will be better to themselves and to others if they can enrich their own lives in that way.
And we respect each other in this regard. So say I'm the Q and I stepped up to lead that day. That was my responsibility. I raised my hand. All right. So at the end of that, as in that circle of trust, I have the opportunity to speak from my heart. I could quote John Maxwell. I could quote Spurgeon. I could read from from Hebrews or whatever, or I can just say whatever I really want to encourage them in. So for that 2 minutes, everyone is expected to respect me in that space. Same holds true. If there were someone who's not a believer and they stepped up to lead, we still will respect them because that's their space. That's really important. We don't ask you if you show up, are you a believer? We're there because we're men, and men need that fellowship. And then we kind of get to the rest of that stuff. It kind of figures itself out.
People being allowed to lead, by the name in and of itself, most people don't get to lead. Mm-hmm. Most people don't get an opportunity to lead because leaders are, leaders in front of more people. And having the opportunity to lead anything can be a really powerful experience. And it can also be one that you forget how powerful it was if at one point in time in your life, you got to do that, and then life gets in the way and you accept different roles and different positions, and you don't get to lead anymore, and you forget, just like the fellowship, how important it is to be a leader, if only for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how important it is to have that camaraderie and that fellowship. And it's something that you can't intellectualize. You can't sit on the couch and have your wife say, you need to go to this F3, and I think you need to be around a bunch of guys. Well, you're gonna be like, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I'm going to do that bunch of stupid stuff, a bunch of tools.
Right.
And then you go there, and you can come to the conclusion that, wow, this is really what I needed, and probably have needed for a long time.
We have a trajectory of a man's significant other will tell him to go to F3, and he'll begrudgingly go, and then he gets super excited about it, and his activity level goes way up here. And then the significant other complains, and so it falls off, and then it kind of levels off, So you find your balance. And my wife and I mean, this is the third city where I have invested a lot of my time into F3, and we've gone through that too. We've talked about, how much time should I be putting into this? I'm not getting paid for it. In fact, it cost me a lot of money to buy the shirts and. Do whatever I need to do. I bought our website.
You mean shirts are expensive? I don't know anything about.
Right. So, but hopefully, I tell we have social events where wives and children are invited, and I've told them, like, look, if your husband is not a better husband because of F3, you let me know, because we're doing something wrong. We should be empowering him and equipping him to be better at home because he's stronger physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So that's what our goal is.
And to kind of, run with that a little bit, we're constantly looking for ways to serve. We come together, we get sharper and stronger and all that, but we want to go out in the community and live out a purpose. What is it? Can we do small groups? Can we go mentor? Can we go clean up the house of a hoarder who's about to lose their property? Things like that. So we're constantly looking for ways to engage the wives and the children. Okay, and a good example, our company has a nonprofit. And on June 30th of this year, Chick-fil-A is going to be their title sponsor for it, and it's called the Chick-fil-A Family Picnic and Field Day. So they've asked us as F3 to come in and kind of do an exhibit on the physical fitness, and kind of be able to, maybe burpee contest or push-up contest, whatever it is. And it's a great way to bring the F3 guys' wives, children out to this big day of fun, and it's going to be open to the community. But it's just another way for us to, yes, we're together in community early in the morning as men. We need to be. And then we want to find ways to bring in the family and not make them feel like they're excluded from our growth.
Right.
We want to include them in that, and there's a time for it.
I should say there's a it's not a female version of F3 because they are their own organization. But Females in Action is very similar.
Called
it's
FIA.
Yeah, they call themselves FIA. And one of the wives of one of our guys is actively pursuing starting that in the Memphis area.
Hey, Fat Pat.
Yeah, Fat Pat.
PH. That's PH.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to ask if y'all had a sister group to that.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
So it started with probably the wives of the guys in Charlotte who started it. And then it doesn't have to be that. I mean, it could start independent. But that's been the trend that F3 will get started in a city and then FIA follows soon after. But again, that's not our thing. We would probably mess it up if we tried to.
We would mess it up.
Get FIA going.
And kind of the flip side of what Gus was talking about on the relational side with the wives. I'm a divorced dad, so I got 2 teenagers, and my children have seen the better version of me come out. They're seeing me being more fit physically. Yes. Since August, I've dropped about 12 pounds. I'm not looking to lose weight. I need to lose weight apparently. So they're seeing more of a man who is refining himself. I'm more disciplined with my time. I'm more committed in my priority time, the things that really matter in life. So they're seeing this outgrowth from me, and my children are now more invigorated. My son is, Dad, will you be my personal trainer? That's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
When my son says, I want you to spend time with me and make me a sharper young man. That's priceless.
Yeah.
So, and I never would have guessed that when I showed up back in 2014 and got smoked at my first workout. I would never have been able to see 4 years down the road that this is what is possible. So when people say, what's your experience with it? Always say is, honestly, why don't you show up once?
Yeah. You'll have a blast. You'll probably throw up, and then you'll be back.
Yeah.
And that's just how it works.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Our first day, we had 6 guys throw up. No lie. It was an hour-long boot camp, but at least 2 of those guys right now, they're in leadership positions.
Yeah.
We always joke at Olive Branch CrossFit that we have a 100% retention rate of people that throw up in their first workout.
It's true. Like, it's almost like, all right, we got you. I mean,
so these people wanted to push themselves that hard.
Right.
That they found that limit.
Yeah.
They refine themselves over time and get better. But that's cool that you guys are seeing that same thing.
And I don't want to hog it up, but this was really neat. So I was in a small group with a guy and kind of going through a life change. And I didn't know him, but I was meeting with him every Friday in this small setting. And I was like, the day before we launched, I just kind of pulled him to the side. I said, man, I don't know you, but tomorrow is something pretty powerful is going to happen, and I really wish you'd show up. This guy showed up. Fast forward, he was able to come out of that season in a real positive light. He ended up moving out of state, and now he has taken his leadership development, and he's pouring it into the F3 down in his city, and we're starting to see it thrive on a greater level. So again, it's the opportunity to lead just can propel a man, to pretty cool places.
It's fantastic.
And a lot of those things aren't even quantifiable. Like if somebody said, Wilson, what has fitness done for you in your life? I mean, where do you even start with that?
Right.
I met my wife there. What I went into it for is nothing what I'm doing it for now. I mean, the reason that I started getting fit has nothing to do with the avenues that it's taken me. And it's taken me in so many different ways. It has changed my life in so many different ways. And, to be reminded, you talking about, reminding people to be good fathers and good husbands and to take this with you is so important, especially for somebody as ignorant and forgetful as I am. I have my 12-step meetings that I go to through recovery. And, Amanda laughs because she's like, I want to go to those. Like, I wish I had that to go to because I need that. I need to be reminded that, it's not about the hour that I go and spend in there. It's about the next 23 and what I do with that.
Right.
It's real easy to be nice when you're in a nice setting with nice people who are all trying to be nice.
Yeah.
It's dress rehearsal. And then, somebody knocks over a cup of coffee and everybody jumps up and picks it up. Then you come home and your kid knocks over their orange juice and you strangle them.
Yeah. And
that's not the way it's supposed to work.
One of the things that we talk about, and I have learned a lot by being the F3 Memphis Nantan, is I shouldn't be afraid to fail myself or let other people fail when they're in charge, right? So I hate that, though. I hate saying, like, I'm going to have this goal, and then if we don't meet it, I'm like, I take that really personally. And so Dredd, the Nantan of F3 Nation, talks a lot about, look, F3 is a safe space to fail. There's nothing. What's at stake here, right? Like a free workout for 45 minutes, and it sucks. So what? To do better next time. Or like a good example is O Positive wanted to start the AO out in Collierville, and I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's gonna work, and it worked. Like, it's successful. But I kind of just had to let it go and be like, well, if it sucks, it sucks, and we'll do something else somewhere else. So that's an important thing, I think, because in your family, like your family, your job, your life, like failure is bad, and it can have these consequences that can cripple people if they don't know how to do it. Right? Like for me, sports was I was never on a great sports team. I was never the greatest athlete. So I pretty much learned how to deal with failure pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I think sports helped me learn that. But F3 has helped me learn that as an adult, I think. Like, not everything is going to be perfect every time. And it's okay. Like, you can recover from that. You can get back on the horse and keep going. And it's a training ground for life, right? Like, say you mess up with, in your family, you yell at your kids, you yell at your wife, you hurt people's feelings. Like, it's okay. It's going to be all right. Do better next time. So we do that all the time. Like, I mean, we hurt each other's feelings all the time. I called him a name yesterday.
I love failure. I'm borderline obsessed with failure. I think if to watch someone fail, then they have my deepest respect. I love a failure. I love somebody that's willing to put it out there, because most of my life I do anything to avoid failure.
Right.
And by anything, I mean I would do nothing.
Right.
Just make sure that I would not fail and wouldn't do it. And now it's like, if I'm not failing, or if I'm not in something that could potentially fail, then I'm comfortable and I'm bored, and shortly thereafter I'm going to be depressed.
Right.
And that's what not failing does for me, is it leads to depression,
and
like on the clinical level.
Yeah, and a lot of people that are much smarter than me will say that, if you're a parent and you're exhibiting this persona of I never fail, you're going to do more wounding to them, because they're going to ascribe to that same level and say, well, I can't fail, or I can't show that I'm vulnerable or that I'm fallible, that I'm going to fail. So I'm more conscious and aware of, hey, look, if I go mess up a workout, and my first workout I did, I mean, I led 23 guys my very first time I queued. That's intimidating. Have 23 men that showed up that early in the morning, and I'm standing in the circle, and I'm just kind of looking around. And I had my workout on my arm, which is called a Winky, and I had it on my phone. Chris Winky, right? Florida State. Okay.
No, I don't know anything
Okay.
about that.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so I had it on my phone. I had it, on my arm. I had it up here. I had my workout already planned. And when I stood there and I saw all these guys, and I thought, wow, I'm responsible for all of them. It took my breath away, and I froze. I froze probably a good 20 seconds, and I just stood there like I didn't know what I was doing. And then it thawed. And then I had Q-adrenaline, and was just off the charts, for that first workout. But that's it. You got to realize there's more at stake if you do not attempt to lead.
Now, does everybody have to lead?
At some point, you're expected to lead.
Prod,
Yeah.
and
We ease you into it, but some guys are ready.
make fun of you if you don't, and we know you
Yeah,
you can.
haze 'em.
Right? I mean, we see
Give 'em
like
swirlies and
yeah.
stuff and
I mean,
wedgies.
we see like, hey, you're physically ready. Your personality isn't, like you're not shrinking into the back. You're being active and speaking up, and like, so you're gonna lead. And if they say no, then we're like, okay, then freaking don't come back. I don't know, like, like get out there or
We're constantly,
go.
We're looking to develop guys. So one thing that we integrate is throughout a workout, a lot of what we call is in cadence. All right. So like when we do our ab work at the very end, we may look and say, okay, you're going to call this one. This may be somebody who's brand new, but we're going to give them a chance to fail. What's the worst thing they're going to do? Have a cadence that's very bad,
Yeah.
and so
dummy army style.
yeah. But
counting to 4, so.
you see how confident they are, and so oftentimes we'll just kind of throw out those opportunities throughout the workout. Hey, why don't you lead us right now? Give them the chance. It's just a workout.
You mentioned money. It doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything until you want a shirt or 5 shirts. And then we tell you, we're doing a ruck before the workout, and we'd like you to join us, and you buy a $300 backpack.
There you
And,
go. That cost you 12. No. Is that what you do? You have a
No, I'm telling you, nobody makes money off of F3. Guys,
nobody makes money off Lift Heavy Run Long either. But that's not from lack of
Trust me,
that's
right?
not from lack of trying. We're not a nonprofit. We just are one.
So F3, like, people,
We're not a nonprofit. We're unprofitable.
there you go. People tell me all the time, like, I can't believe y'all are doing this for free. Like, somebody's got to be profiting off of it. I'm like, if they are, I'm really getting screwed because
Yeah.
I haven't seen a cent.
Yeah,
But-
it's free. You don't have to RSVP.
Yeah, we don't do liability waivers because we usually meet at public parks, or we do give a disclaimer at the beginning and say, look, I'm not a professional. You're not paying to be here. You're responsible for your own well-being, and you exercise at your own risk. And that's pretty much it.
And modify as needed.
Yeah, I mean, and we just roll with it. And I mean, I don't know who you would sue because F3 isn't even like a legal entity. And we don't have any money personally, so I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna get.
Just this organic organization.
Yeah.
That,
Well, I think that's great, and keep it simple like that.
Yeah.
I mean, keep whoever pulls their back guessing. Like, who would I sue? I mean,
Right.
They didn't give me a waiver. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't
It's
have
like
anybody. There's not a
runners.
boss. There's not a president.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, runners show up in a group and they go run. That's what we do. We show up
Yeah.
and we work
Yeah.
out. So what's really cool about this story is January 1st of 2011, you had these 2 middle-aged guys, one of which was a 20-year special ops guy, Green Beret. He's Dread. And then you had OBT, and they kind of came together.
Banker.
Yeah, I mean, 2 completely different personalities, but they complement each other beautifully. And so they came together and they did their first workout. And they thought, well, maybe 5 guys would show up. Well, no, 34 guys showed up. So they're like, whoa, don't want to put the brakes on it. So they opened up a second day in the week. Well, this was 7 years ago. Fast forward, there are now over 1,100 workouts taking place over any given week. There are over 15,000 men strong, and there's about 22 states. So you have like Chicago, Illinois.
Say that again.
Uh,
There's 700.
There's 15,000 men plus at this point after 7 years. There's over 1,100 workouts taking place over the course of any week all over the nation, mostly concentrated on the southeast side. But we are out in on the left coast. Have a couple of locations out there. But you've got 22 states. So like Chicago, Illinois launched recently, St. Louis launched, Austin, things of that nature.
And we've got our eyes set on North Mississippi, Little Rock, Jackson, Tennessee, that we're going to hopefully branch out that way.
That's great.
Yeah. We're looking for guys in the communities that they live, work, and play to step up and lead it for sustainability. So like when he talked about, I wanted to, because I work in Carterville, and I see how many guys need F3. I know a lot of them personally. And I'm like, man, they just need to be blessed with this. So I went to him and I said, look, this was like October of last year. I said, I want to do Carterville. And he's like, it's going to have its issues. And I said, yeah. He said, but if you build it, they will come. And I said, all right, my exit strategy is going to be March 31st of 2018. Give myself about 4 months. And I want to see 5 core guys out there, but be averaging between 5 and 8 guys every workout. And we actually hit that about 2 weeks ahead of schedule. And then I handed off the leadership to CeeLo, which is the guy that came in on the early part of the podcast. And that's what it's about. It's about developing it to a sustainable nature and then handing it off to the men in the community.
Yeah. Because O Positive doesn't live in Carterville.
I live in East Memphis. I live near this guy. But that was a labor of love and a passion project for me because I know what impact it has made on my life personally. And I know enough of the other stories of the other guys.
The ambitious vision is every park and every neighborhood will have F3, right? So your neighbors come together, interact with each other, get healthy, and affect their community. So, will that happen? I don't know. But Charlotte metro area, F3 is everywhere. I mean, you wake up one morning and there's dudes just
Knoxville's the same
going
way.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you're going to have vision, you best have an ambitious one.
Right, that's right.
I mean, if you're going to start this thing, why not go ahead and plan for it to be nuts?
Right.
And it's a shameless plug for Dread and OBT, but they wrote a book called Freed to Lead. And it really talks about how this came from just a vision to fruition. But one of the most powerful parts of the entire book is, it's a pretty rigid book and it tells you how it all came about. But like one of the last pages talks about a bunch of F3 dads were with their 2.0 young children and they're at a park. And one of I believe it was a daughter maybe, was like, Daddy, why aren't there any police here? And he said, well, we don't need police. No, the child said, well, we don't need police because we got our dads. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I was about to cry. I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's the impact that the child feels because she feels secure in the leadership of the father.
You follow Jocko at all online? Or
I'm familiar. I don't follow him, but I'm familiar with him.
I'm not super familiar. A lot of our guys love Jocko. So, but he pushes forward this idea of extreme ownership of yourself.
Jocko is
community.
who Vaughn was listening to.
Yeah.
That made him start CrossFit.
Right.
He's intense.
So, I mean, it's the same type of thing. We use a little different vocabulary, but it's like, look, you are where you are for a reason. So let's go. Let's do this thing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Somebody asked Gus just the other day, can I do this? And Gus was like, you're free to lead.
Yeah.
As long as it's not going to harm the organization, then just step up and run with it. And it really taps into that personal drive that really, it's my idea and I can implement this.
That's what I was saying. Like, we don't have a hierarchy. Like, don't ask me to do something. Just do it and tell us. And if it's a good idea, we'll be like, oh, that's awesome. And we'll join you. And if your idea is terrible, we're going to say, hey, that's terrible.
And we're not going to do it anymore.
It'll die a natural death. So, I don't know. I mean, we got 5 rules and a bunch of dudes. And we're trying to, have fun and
that's what makes it work.
Get fit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And with that comes the fact that it's free and that there is no hierarchy. And if you don't like that and you don't like something's going on and you voice that and it still doesn't change, then your option is to just keep going.
Right.
Go away or whatever you have to do to make yourself right with that. But you don't have to put up with anybody's dollar amounts.
No.
Right.
You don't have to put up with, I pay you this much money or I pay more than this guy does, so therefore my voice should count.
And we're always looking for better ideas. Like, I'm not that smart. Like, you have a better idea than me, tell me. And hopefully I'll be smart enough and wise enough and submit enough to the people around me to know, like, all right, that's better. We should do it that way. And we're always ripping off other regions because we communicate a lot on Twitter. We use Twitter extensively to communicate throughout F3 Nation. And we're always taking ideas from other folks. And I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
so.
For sure.
Yeah, and what's neat, because now it is truly a nation that is continuing to grow. Where else would we bring together so many different personalities? I mean, this guy's a lawyer. We've got former professional football players. We've got doctors. We've got pastors. We've got just a motley crew of individuals who just show up because there's something that's pulling them.
Well, the pastors don't have anything else to do.
Yeah,
so they
true.
just show up.
True. You know, 6 days a week they got nothing to do, right?
Well, and it shows you when it all boils down to it that we all need the same things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was going to ask, I was just thinking, like, do you do claps with your burpees?
Oh wow.
Do I do
Clap.
what?
When you jump at the
Claps
top,
with your burpees. Yeah.
Yeah.
he does.
Do you, Amanda?
I jump, but I don't do the whole
Yeah.
clap thing.
Well, because you do
There's-
them right, and clapping is not.
All right.
Clapping's not good.
I'm
My
F3
burpees
official.
aren't good. So really,
Oh, we
You
have
do
a guy.
push-up?
let's
like,
talk about it.
It made me think about it because I was saying we take things from other people, and F3 Louisville is, I mean, they're pretty good at what they do, but they have this, like, if you don't clap, it's not a burpee. And one of our guys tried to implement that, and he likes to try to poison people's minds. And
Yeah.
slots, if you're listening.
Does it help if
Sorry.
most of the time I clap, I'm already on the ground? Like by the time I jump,
We call that
land,
a stargazer.
and then they clap.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's probably not.
I just don't have enough airtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and my ups will only get me so far.
Yeah.
So what should I do?
I mean, you just throw up the spirit fingers and go.
Just shake.
Well, you don't have to
jazz
shake
hands.
them. Yeah, not like jazz hands, but
How'd that go?
You know.
How'd that go, Wesley?
Yeah, you got to let them know you're there.
That's right.
Let them know it counts.
Yeah.
You got to look to the coach and make sure it's a rep before you
Right.
go back
Oh,
down.
that's too funny.
And yeah, my burpees are bad, man. I don't even know if I clap anymore.
Don't.
I pretty much
So-
stopped
Yeah,
doing
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
The way CrossFit officially handles it is if you're in any kind of a competition, you have to
Touch
find
the
a target
6-inch
that is
target.
6 inches beyond your reach, and you have to hit that target
Yeah.
every
mentally.
time. No,
Oh,
you have to
actually,
physically touch that target
You
every
measure. It's usually like our pull-up bars are enough to tap.
like okay,
Like you have to jump 6 inches.
Yeah.
Which is impossible. I can't do that.
Right.
I did
Nobody.
CrossFit.
That's
time.
a,
Says the guy that was jumping on a 24-inch bar.
I did CrossFit for 6 months
Pulling my legs
while I
way
was in
up.
Iraq, but we weren't like
Well, that's
we
what I'm
weren't
saying.
like a real thing. A real.
Well, no,
CrossFit
and that's what I was
box or
trying to say.
anything,
Like
so.
that's only in competitions that we
Okay.
care. Like
Okay.
Yeah,
in,
we
a
just-
in a
we
regular
just jump.
class, we just expect you
Okay,
to jump
got it.
up. It doesn't. You don't have to clap, but we
Yeah.
we want to see air under your shoes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree.
That's all we're looking for.
Tell them what happened this morning. The PT.
Oh, we did at one of our locations in Germantown. We did an Army physical fitness test, just as a baseline fitness gauge, and we're going to do that every 6 months.
is the Army physical fitness test, is that a standard test throughout?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run.
Okay.
Timed 2-mile run. So it's not a perfect test. In fact, as one of the few Army veterans in our group, I was like, let's not do this or modify it or whatever. But the guys were super enthusiastic, so go for it, guys.
You were overruled.
Yeah,
Because
I
you're
was.
not the boss.
That's right.
right.
But I'll be doing one Friday at our Friday location.
What's a good score? How do they score that?
Each category has 100 points available, so a 300 is a perfect score. Although there is an extended scale where if you get 100 points in each category, you can go beyond that. When I was in the Army, I never did that. I had to have I think
That's
we had
based
to
on
have.
your gender and your age, right? That they tell you
Yeah.
how many reps.
So the
you're
sit-ups
expecting.
is the same regardless of gender, but the push-ups and the 2-mile run are pretty dramatically
Is
different.
one sit up a point?
No,
one
it's
push-up
not. It's
point?
not 1-to-1 like that. I think so. In 17 to 21, which is the lowest age group, and then all the recruits have to meet that too. That's your basic training standard. I think it's. Shoot, now I've boxed myself in.
I'm just curious if I would pass.
I think it's like 42 push-ups for the men and 19 push-ups for the women.
In 2
That's 60% in 2 minutes. I think it's 55 sit-ups, hands interlocked behind your head, and the resting position is up.
you
and
have to
then,
keep them interlocked just when people are watching.
Well,
So I would have to do probably in 2 minutes. I would probably have to do 42 push-ups.
42 push-ups, 55 sit-ups. But I don't know how old you are, but it would slide So
42.
You're 41.
41.
so
41.
I don't know.
Thank God for a
It
minute.
probably would be like 30, high 30s push-ups, probably in the 40s for sit-ups.
I wrote in my blog the other day that I was 7 years older than Amanda. And Amanda's like,
Text him like,
you're 4 years older.
years
And I was
older, I'm
like,
37.
I'm 42. And she's like, I said, but you're 35. She's like, no, I'm 37. I was like, well, you were when I met you. Like, you were.
Awesome.
So I just kind of had it.
You just don't
tucked in
age.
there.
That's good, though.
That's
That's
nice.
right,
Yeah,
that's
he
right.
can hold me at 35 forever. That's great.
Yeah. So it's the little things.
Oh, good times.
We've hit now. Oh my gosh, we've gone over an hour. No, I thought that said an hour and 15 minutes. We've hit the hour mark. It's an hour 1 and 15 seconds.
Awesome.
So that has flown by.
Yeah.
You see, I would keep you here like 3 hours.
Okay.
That's why I have to stop it at
That's
1
right.
hour.
I
Like
hear
with
you.
a timer. It's
Start
over.
on time, end on time.
That's right.
because yeah, like y'all do the 45 minutes. Only I wouldn't get caught up working for more than 45 minutes. Talking. I could stay here all day. This has been great, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Appreciate
you.
It's
so
been a
much.
lot of
Really
fun.
appreciate
And
it.
I heard about F3 through Twitter. You talked about your Twitter
Yeah.
presence being strong, and someone who follows Lift Heavy Run Long had sent me a thing. You guys need to do this. And then within 7 days of that one time, just being like, all right, whatever, F3, I heard it from 2 other people.
That's awesome.
And since then, I've heard it dozens of times.
That's really
So if somebody's
y'all-
trying to find a workout in their area, where do they
Yeah.
go?
So you can go to f3memphis.com. We have a schedule there with like a map,
What about everybody that's
breaks
outside
it down.
of Memphis?
f3nation.com. They have a nationwide map where you can find anything in your city. And if it's not in your city yet, you can send them an email and say I'm interested, and they have a kind of like an expansion plan.
And what are y'all's Twitter accounts for those that are local?
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all F3 Memphis.
Okay.
I am F3_Gus. He has like 5 Twitter handles, and I can't remember any of them. So
I can't remember them either.
And if you're in the Memphis area, you can go to Houston High School.
That's right.
And you can look for Pops. He's the guy. He looks about 74.
Aw.
You'll know that he's there. He'll be on the ground.
He is. He very often wears his lift heavy run
Yes,
long
he does.
hoodie.
Good.
To work
Aw,
out.
hey,
So-
Bubba.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
And now you have these shirts that I'm gonna ask Shelton like every time. Were they wearing
Yeah.
those shirts?
Awesome. Please do.
I want you to wear them
I'll wear it Friday
a lot
for the
Okay.
PT test.
because
Right. Awesome.
part of our problem with Lift Heavy Run Long is I give away everything that all of
yeah.
our inventory gets given away. Everybody needs one.
It's true.
It's like everybody I see, I'm like, they're like, I want to buy a shirt. I'm like, I want you to have it. I want you to have it. I just want you to wear it.
You want to talk about the app? Speaking of money,
I should have talked about that at the beginning of we do have an app, and we talked about bringing fitness to everyone, and that's what we're trying to do with the Lift Heavy Run Long app. It's $3.99 a month, which obviously we're not going to get rich off of that. We're trying to bring fitness to as many people as possible that may not otherwise have it. But we have a great list of programs. We have a great trainer, Valerie Hunt, who has programs for distances from 5Ks all the way up to 50 milers, Spartan races, marathons,
triathlons.
Ironmans, Spartan races, obstacle course races. And then we also have for $9.99, you can have access to any of those programs where you can have those delivered to your app and scheduled, and the app will keep up with your times and your scores and your weights. If you're someone who doesn't have $3.99 a month but needs some fitness and doesn't have any money, then just shoot me an email, wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. We're happy to give it to you for free if that's what it takes to get you up and get you moving.
Awesome.
Lift Heavy Run Long, episode number 93 is in the books.
thanks,
Thank you, guys.